We should never close the books on this case. We should remember the cases and the fact that it's not too late.
Former Senator Doug Jones speaking about the healing brought to the Birmingham community when, decades after the violent act, two of the suspects in this case finally went before a jury.
Yeah, Jones and I sat down earlier this week to talk about putting the cases together years after the bombing and the challenges he faced getting them to trial. As the first light of a new day hits the bricks of the 16th Street Baptist Church, today the congregation pauses to mark the darkest day in its history. It was on this day in 1963 that four young black girls eager to participate in their church's youth service were killed when a bomb went off. And it would take decades for two of those responsible to finally face a jury.
It's never too late to do justice, to do the right thing. The truth needs to come out regardless of the time that was passed.
I sat down with former U.S. Senator Doug Jones inside the sanctuary, several feet from where the bomb was planted outside under a stairwell, to discuss the decades-long quest for justice.
It is something that stays with you forever.
More than 3 decades after the violent act, Jones, then a U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Alabama, brought two former KKK members to trial.
So we knew that this was going to be the last roundup. We knew that this was going to be the last opportunity to do something for these families, for the community, and for history, quite frankly. And so we were racing against time.
The passing of time also meant a few witnesses had died. And then there were some who hung on just long enough.
And there were so many of our witnesses and participants who literally passed away within a year, year and a half after these trials were completed. And it was, you know, I mean, for people of faith, you would say God was just watching this, and that kept people here just long enough to serve the interest of justice.
Getting each case before a jury 37 and 38 years after the bombing was a tedious task, according to Jones. It meant digging through mounds of evidence, looking for new leads, and overcoming legal challenges.
This was not one major piece of evidence that we had. We had a series of puzzle pieces that had to be put together just right, knowing that we weren't going to have a complete puzzle. We were just going to have pieces, and there would be gaps, and we had to have enough pieces to form a picture beyond a reasonable doubt.
One of the major pieces of evidence was a recording of one of the defendants done by the FBI back in 1964.
And then we discovered that tape recording that was made in the Blanton household when they talked about making the bomb and being part of the group. And those pieces they provided at least 3 pieces of the puzzle. It connected the dots.
In both trials, the jury returned a guilty verdict, which Jones says brought healing to the Birmingham community.
You could just hear a collective sigh of relief that finally Birmingham has lived up to a promise to do justice for all people.
60 years later, this memorial reminds us all about the 4 young lives taken on that Sunday morning. Their faces, their stories, and their memories, forever a part of this church, and forever a part of our community's journey forward.
This is a very vibrant church. It's a wonderful house of worship on its own. But people come here because of what happened. And that's the monument to them, that this church can survive and thrive, and that the city was built around it, and this civil rights community was built around it. And that people will always remember those 4 girls. They will remember the name. They will remember Sarah, the 5th girl who was injured and survived. It is, I think, a wonderful testament to Birmingham and our ability to take a horrific act, something that we wanted to just forget about, and make it something that people can remember and build upon.
Just part of my conversation with the former senator about what it took to get that case before a jury. All week, we have been commemorating this pivotal moment in the fight for equality. For stories on tragedy and the tributes that have been going on for the past several days, you can look for that on the WVTM 13 app.